We're back with a Fox News alert, and take a look at this brand new footage highlighting even more acts of bravery in Australia during the horrific terror attack on Sunday as local civilians tried taking down the gunmen who we're now learning may have been inspired by ISIS. Sky News correspondent Jonathan Lea joins us live from the scene in Sydney with the latest. Jonathan.
Well, good morning to you, team. It's another emotive night here in Sydney, Australia. A make-do prayer vigil continues to happen around us. Tens of thousands of flowers have also continued to be laid as well. You certainly prickle with emotion when you see and hear what's happening, but it is the vision which continues to emerge, which put into context the bravery of so many people. Dashcam footage actually reveals 69-year-old Boris Gurman and his wife Sofia Gurman, Russian Jews, local Australians, intervening from the very moment when Sajid Akram, the older of the two gunmen, gets out of the car. They see a man with a large rifle, a shotgun. It appears that he tackles the gunman. Momentarily, he has the upper hand with the weapon before it looks like another rifle is brought out of the car, and then the 69-year-old is actually gunned down on the street with his wife. People weren't aware of this footage until the dashcam vision actually came to life. We can also tell you further emotive scenes. Raven Morrison was seen throwing bricks at one of the gunmen when he'd been disarmed and was trying to make his way back to that footbridge. Tragically, that gentleman, the 62-year-old, was also gunned down when Naveed Akram, the younger gunman, the 24-year-old, opened fire and caught him. So the heroic efforts of three people there trying to stop the Jewish community from being slain and slaughtered as they were. Eventually, a plainclothes detective managed to make his way behind a tree and brought down the father with an incredible 40-metre shot with his pistol. There have been questions about the courage of the New South Wales police force. The New South Wales Premier Chris Minns certainly put that to pay today when he explained that two police officers themselves were shot, one in the face, neither were shot in the back. He made the point from running away. Have a listen to his powerful words.
The New South Wales police acted with bravery and integrity. They didn't take a backward step. They engaged the gunman on the footbridge with handguns. The offenders had long-range rifles, and New South Wales police officers were responsible for killing one of them and shooting the other one, and as a result, saving many, many people's lives. Now, there are two officers in critical care in New South Wales hospitals at the moment. They weren't shot in the back as they were running away, they were shot in the front.
Yeah, the injury toll stands at 42, the death toll currently at 15, plus the gunman. That is expected, though, to rise. Back to you.
Just incredible acts of bravery across the board, and we are hearing how all of those people are being remembered in Sydney right now. Jonathan Lea, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us that. We appreciate it very much. All right, let's bring in Senior Fellow at the Independent Women's Forum and member of the Council on Foreign Relations, Dr. Qanta Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed, thank you for joining us. You know, they say that there are usually warning signs when it comes to how people act before committing acts of violence, and that was the case here with the son being previously investigated for having terror ties, and both of these gunmen traveling to an ISIS hotspot in the Philippines very recently. There are a lot of people on edge right now in the United States and the world over, with Europe canceling Christmas and New Year's Eve events because they're so concerned about terror attacks. What needs to be done to make the world safer from radical Islamic terrorism?
First of all, we're devastated for Australia. I'm frequently speaking on Australian media and publishing there, and they are my colleagues and friends. And the warning signs that have been missed have been the 2 years of lionization, tolerance, and celebration of virulent anti-Semitism that's posing as pro-Palestinian advocacy. That has done nothing but empower Islamist ideology and this kind of violence. There's a direct link. Australia has been particularly unwilling to protect the Jewish people that are 0.5% of the Australian population. The whole population of Australia could fit in the tri-state area. That's how few Jewish people are there fending for themselves. And the scenes that you just showed remind me very much of the immediate events in October 7th, where civilians are trying to protect each other and confront these lethal terrorists. We need much more robust prosecution. Governor Abbott in Texas leading the way, criminalizing the Muslim Brotherhood. We're seeing Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni strip Muslim preachers of Italian citizenship when they're preaching this ideology, and British conservative lawmaker Lord Pollock calling to outlaw and criminalize as a terror organization, the Muslim Brotherhood and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. We need that kind of an approach.
Do you think that the knee-jerk reaction to immediately go to gun control from whether it's Albanese there in Australia or even back here in the United States, do you think that is because of a fear of going after radical Islamic terror, for fear of potentially alienating a voting group, even though, let's face it, as you are a testament to, not all Muslims and not all Islamic individuals are terrorists?
Great question, Todd. First of all, our environment with guns in the United States is very different than Australia, that has some of the tightest legislation. This was the biggest mass shooting for over 30 years in Australia. And so they have tight management of guns by law-abiding Australians. It's much more about the ideology. And you're right, most Muslims absolutely abhor this kind of radicalization. But the jewels in the crown of our societies, our academic universities, our places of learning, have become hotbeds of ideological radicalization in the name of far left politics or in the name of advocating for Palestinians at the expense of demonizing our fellow Jewish citizens. And that is what makes our free democracies in the United States and Australia so incredibly vulnerable. More than gun control, we need ideological control, and we need real deterrence and criminalization of virulent anti-Semitism. We get a free pass because of free speech in the United States, but this type of speech is leading to lethal genocidal action, and it has to be addressed.
Understood. So much violent news coming in all at once. And yesterday we also learned that the FBI arrested 4 alleged members of a radical left-wing group with ties to pro-Palestinian ideological beliefs, and they're accused of plotting New Year's Eve bombings in Los Angeles. What do you make of this?
First of all, thank goodness for our enforcement, beginning with the Attorney General, all of our investigators. This is the kind of threat that they're dealing with constantly, but it's almost two sides of the same coin. That group is described as anti-capitalist. These are anti-democratic groups, virulent Islamism or far left ideologies, whether you want to refer to groups like Antifa or other derivatives. And that group on the West Coast was derived an offshoot of a pro-Palestinian extremist ideology. They are looking to fray the fabric of our societies. We started with this atrocity on the first night of Hanukkah. We're all moving into the Christmas season, the New Year season, and the average civilian, the average freedoms and pleasures that we're all joining, is the target of this lethal effort to undermine our democracy.
Right.
We are not going to be able to protect it until we become as passionate about defending our values as the fanatics that want to destroy us.
Dr. Qanta Ahmed, your words so important this morning. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.